I literally fling off my jeans. I do it in my knickers and my vest. I don't care. In the hallway, just need some space to do some of this stuff, some like dead bug stuff. And then I'm done. And I'm like, no abs yet.
I'm going to get this show on the road.
Let's do it. Go.
So, how do we start this thing? Welcome, one and all. He, she's, theys, thems. Come on in. Thank you for pressing play on episode 43 of It's All Frolics.
Do you know what I was thinking? Something you said a couple of episodes ago about our year anniversary coming up. Like, do you actually know the date that we started recording? I'm sure it's very easy.
I can find it, yeah.
Because that would be quite fun. That's got to be a drinking sesh. Absolutely has to be a drinking sesh.
There are no arms to twist over here, just corks. I am in.
Just corks, you know. Oh, love it.
Great. And that's, it's hurtling towards us, you know. So literally next month. So yeah, absolutely. We're doing it. We'll think of something special for that one.
I'm going to have a banner.
What, a happy anniversary?
Yeah, why not?
One anniversaire. Anniversaire? I don't know what the French is for that.
Yeah, I think it is.
I speak no French. I keep telling you that. All I can say is Monique and Baguette. Anyway, welcome to episode of 43 of It's All Frolics. Thank you for pressing play today. You are joined by me, Monique B, and the gorgeous, in red, Amy G. Those are the echoes that she was referring to last episode. I literally cannot intro her without it. I don't know. That's what we do. Right. So I've got no game. Today, we're playing the game of life today, okay? It's hard enough. Let's just roll those dice, shall we?
The game of life. Shit.
We are gonna go straight in, man. Let's just get in, diving gear on, deep dive. It's kind of a nice one today, though, I think.
Yeah.
This week's deep dive question is...
Drum roll.
Yeah, thanks for that. I was just thinking, did you do the things bit? No, I didn't. And as I've just said it out loud, I'll just quickly do the things. So folks, do the things. You know, we use an acronym over here now. Do it for self. Subscribe because you deserve nice things. Engage because your voice deserves to be heard. Like because your feelings deserve to be validated. And forward because forward and follow.
Yes.
Because you know a good thing when you see it and hear it, hopefully. Anyway, do that.
I find it hilarious how, regardless of how many times we've done this, we still fumble over every single aspect of it.
Every time. I can just about speak regularly anyway, much less. But actually, that's the point. You'd think a script would help. No. Anyway, you know what we meant. You've been on YouTube before. You've followed other things. You know what the things are. So this week's deep dive question is... I don't know why this is making me laugh. Anyway, this week's deep dive question is, what do you think our friendship teaches others? So I guess this is just more conversational between me and you, really.
Yeah.
Although I guess if you're listening, this could be a cue to think about the friendships that you have, how they serve you. Are you appreciative of them? Big if they serve you. And depending on what we talk about in the next however long, they may raise some questions too. So, Amy G. G. Did you write a list? Did you just have...
I'm going to start signing my
Sign
name
it.
like Amy G, 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 and get
like,
smaller.
Amy, g.
Oh, God.
Did you write a list for this? Did you just have a stream of consciousness? Did you just think, oh, I'll wing it on the day?
I wish I felt I would say that. That's never gonna be an option. It might end up happening sometimes, but I'm never going to be like, do you know what I'm going to choose to do? I'm going to choose to wing it. No,
no,
I don't
we
have
are
a
actually going to have one of those.
What,
because
wing it?
Yeah, because I've thought, sorry, this is a sidetrack, that for an episode coming up, we should just pull random questions and just answer as is. Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
You will be. Maybe we could do that on the anniversary part of it.
Whilst drinking? Are you mad? The things that would come out of our mouths and we would have no control. At the beginning, it would all make sense. At the end, we would literally just be telling on ourselves loudly, very loudly.
Go.
Oh.
All right, back to the regular scheduled programming.
Okay.
You made a list or some notes, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's stream of consciousness, yeah.
Awesome.
So it was a weird perspective because I think that our friendship has taught me things about our friendship. So I'm hoping that other people can relate. I feel as though, and this is a personal perspective, since doing this podcast, I feel closer to you than I ever have previously.
1,000%.
We had a time. We had a time before, but now I think scarily there are moments where I'm just like, well, we say it, get out of my head, and that in those moments I'm just like.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like, yeah, it's so true.
And it always makes me reminisce about times in the past where we've had just little moments. And I feel like though in those moments, it was exactly the same. We were just literally on the same page about something.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun to be there. So not me crying at all, just an itch in my eye.
Just an ash.
So I was thinking about that because one of the reasons why we started this podcast was about getting to know each other better and in a different capacity, because it was very much, how did you describe it? Kind of like built on WhatsApp, the majority wise.
A lot of our friendship is in the chat.
In the chat. In the chat.
Because obviously, like, we're close, but we've come together through Silent Partner. She was like our glue for a very long time. So we've always like hung out and we've always done stuff. But it's like, I don't know, we've just never had the type of friendship where I'm just going to pick up the phone and see what Amy's doing or what's Mo up to today. It just always goes in the chat,
Yeah.
And I remember having that realization, thinking that's so crazy considering how tight we are, how involved we are with each other's lives, and, how we would definitely like ride at dawn for each other,
Yeah.
So I felt like, it was a great reason to try and to do this thing together,
Definitely.
As well as us both being like keen on having just something fun to do.
Yeah. Something to bring joy and something to challenge us and something to, I suppose more so at the beginning, we need to get better at continuing with our deep dives because we've been a bit lax.
I know.
In the last few months.
Maybe it's just like summer vibes, isn't it? Just like everything's a bit lighter in the summer. I'm going to find an excuse for everything. Yeah. Oh no, reframe, not an excuse. Reframe. Yeah.
Summer vibes in it. Oh my gosh. But I think that's the other thing as well, is I feel like with the two of us, we kind of roll with the punches. We are absolute clowns, like, especially when we're together. And I definitely feel sorry for our silent partner sometimes, because I'm just like, she must be thinking, what on earth have I tied myself to?
She is thinking. And we know that because she tells us.
I know.
Or gives us a look.
Amy, your friend, you know. Monique, your friend, you know.
Listen, she divorces us frequently. That was a brace, sorry. Frequently. Yeah.
Oh, dear. So in terms of what I think, well, what I know it's taught me, but what I hope it teaches others through this channel, because otherwise, how else would you see it? Is I think the vulnerability part there is, I think it's a big part of our friendships. I'm going to include the silent partner in that as well, because we have created a space for each other to do the work. And I think this podcast is us continuing that journey, being a lot more public about it. It's still challenging each other, but in a productive and in a healthy way. And I definitely feel most heard, actually, in this friendship. I think I'm heard in different ways in different friendships, but there's an element to you and I where I feel like some things I don't need to say because she is me. So it's kind of like unwritten.
It's a given. Yeah.
So I hope that you feel you also have the space to show up vulnerable, not show up at all, or, you know, melt down, melt in happiness, whatever. Because I think, so I am very, very grateful for my life. I feel like there's lots of aspects of it where I'm just like, if I knew someone who had this, I would be jealous. I'd be jealous of them. And that's not lost on me. And one of the things I am most grateful for is female friendships. Because I feel like as entities, I'm going to use that word, we are most complex. And I think for a lot of us, we don't even really know how to navigate ourselves. So to introduce other people into that and navigate them as well, minefield. And I don't feel like I've ever really felt worried about that with you. Like I've never felt like, if I was to say something out of turn, I think there would be silence, but then there would also be, oh, just so you know, I felt a kind of way about this. I don't feel as though you would be scared to approach me about that kind of stuff.
No. I mean, I don't think so. It's not happened yet. Try it. Let's see. No, not really.
Listen, I know you're an Aries, so I don't think I'd want to try it. Fire comes to mind.
Yeah, I know we say this often, but the best way to sum us up, I think you're right, it's just safe. Nothing has to be second guessed, or like edited. We can literally just be. And if there is an edit, I think anytime we do edit ourselves, it's more to just make sure we are saying exactly what we mean. Or for me personally, it's if I'm trying to speak less negatively, I'll reframe. But it's still, I still said what I said. But there's never a concern that, oh, this is going to be, taken personally or out of turn. I feel like we've put in the work and we have the foundation and we know each other well enough that, yeah, you can just say it all or say nothing, say it straight, say it with a joke, whatever. It will be accepted. It will be heard. Counsel will be given if necessary. Or sometimes, when requested, sometimes not when requested. But I think, again, we sort of know how to toe the line, right? So it's just like, oh, is this one of these moments where I should say something, or do we just, let her have it? Sometimes we have to revisit things later on, and that's cool. But it's easy. And I agree with you as well. I really feel for those that don't have a friendship like this, because how are you doing life? How are you doing life? I mean, for me, I've gotten better, but it's a running joke that I am a Volts all unto myself. I don't give the feelings away easily at all. But through doing this podcast, I have become so much more aware of it and able to share a lot easier than I've ever been able to, and that's really just a credit to you and to Silent Partner and for the space and grace that we have for one another, One of the things that I've learned by doing this podcast is that after 21 years of knowing somebody, there's still a shit ton to learn. It's like you think you know someone, but having these types of conversations is just like, ooh, there's like a trapdoor that leads to a trapdoor that leads. There are layers, hidden depths, and it's so, I don't know. I love it, quite honestly, because it's just like, we're just not done. And it feels like we will never be done. And I am A-okay with this because I can't get enough of you. You're awesome, But it did, I did like make a couple of notes. One of the things that I also realized is that, well, one of the things that has shocked me about you is how much of basically how my perception, okay, hold on, how am I going to say this? My perception of you wasn't wrong, but there was an element to your personality that I didn't realize was different to who you are. So that revelation that you made about not really being an outgoing person, I was just like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense because I know you. So, and you are like zesty, you are neon, you are bright, you are energy. So when you were telling me that, you'd rather not, I'm just like, but no. One, that's not who I know. And also, but you're so good at that and it's so natural. That's how I received it, So part of me was just like really, and still am really shocked sometimes that she'd rather just be at home on the sofa, just chilling.
Do you know what's funny about that is that, so I obviously know that about myself, right? But the more I have been reading, like, personality traits, strength traits, and oh God, what is it? Astrology kind of profiles. The more I've read those over the last few months, the more I am absolutely kind of blown away by how similar the information is. So it's kind of like how my planets align given my birth chart, how certain strengths in my personality come through. It all starts with a nurturing stream, a hosting stream. So I am a natural born host, right?
Yeah.
So home is a big thing for me. Making people feel welcome is a big thing for me. The other thing that's a big thing for me is small groups. So having this close-knit stuff that people who I feel safe and trust around, whenever I'm in that space, I am your absolute extrovert.
Yeah.
So all of the
Yeah.
just takes center stage, but that's because I'm safe. I feel safe in that. But that move me out of that environment into a much bigger environment, and then I'm just like, no, I'm not comfortable here. No, thank you. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
And so all of these different perspectives on who I am come from different sciences and kind of approaches, but they all say exactly the same thing. So I feel like and maybe it was because I'm safe with this, or I was safe with the silent partner, and therefore because they were safe with you, you're automatically in my safe space. You only ever saw the extroverted.
That's true.
Amy,
I guess,
because
it makes sense, really. But I guess because I've seen that side of you always, to know that there are situations where you can't be that, or don't want to be that. It's just like, yeah, but you are that though. So, I guess it's again a testament to, you know, the foundation and the space that we've created for each other. But it has been really nice to kind of see, like, over the last couple of months, you sort of lean into this take it easier era, you know? And I feel like, you know, if you are in a friendship long enough, especially with people that are doing the work, you will hopefully find that they sort of shed those learned behaviors and come out of those survival behaviors as well, and are able to lean more into who, I don't know, more into who their spirit was called to be, right? So I'm happy that you're able to do that without fear. And because I have seen friendships where people have begun to change. Because essentially it is a change, right? From what everyone knows them to be. But because that change sort of is in conflict with the perception that others have always had of them, they're just like, who is this person? You know? And it's like that authentic stuff isn't embraced because, again, that's not who that person has kind of portrayed themselves to be this whole time. And I've seen like friendships break or just completely end because people haven't been able to embrace those changes, even though, you know, they are for the person's well-being or just quality of life. You know, it's just like, well, you're my party friend. I don't know who this on the sofa person is. So who do I go out with now? You know, whereas we're very much the, hey, whether it's inside you or outside you, love all of you regardless. You know, so I'm grateful that whatever era that we're in, unless we're out here killing people, you know. But even then, I think we'd be like, what did they do though? But anyway,
I wouldn't even question. I'd just have my don my black outfit and I'd be burying bodies. Do you know what I mean?
So where do we bury these lot?
I know a guy who knows a guy. We can get rid. By the way, I don't know anybody, so
that was for entertainment purposes only. We're very good law-abiding citizens.
Absolutely. I mean, I cannot break rules. I'm so like. Sometimes when I'm just like, oh, what was I doing the other day? I was driving the car the other day and I'm approaching a traffic lights. My other half is in the car. The yellow, it's turning amber, right? It's turning amber. I'm stopping the car and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? We could get through there. And I was like, yes, but it's turning red, which means stop. Hence me slowing down the car.
Yeah.
And it's like, now we're 2-3 minutes late. It's like, for what? We're driving home. But it's just, those kind of things. I will always be, or I'll let people out. The only time I don't let people out is when I am in a rush. Most of the time, I've scheduled my journey, so I'm not necessarily in a rush. So, but if I'm in a rush, that's the only time I'm going to be like, I'm really sorry, mate, but I always apologize despite them not being able to hear me. It's ridiculous.
Did you teach you much?
I
know. I've learned that about you. I just didn't know it was as...
It's extreme.
Yeah. But this is how you get things done. Do you know what I mean? You're Miss Efficient.
And that is why sometimes, like you were saying about kind of like letting things go, calming down, relaxing, I'm experiencing this now, planning something where I want to get all of my ducks in a row as soon as possible so I can enjoy the rest of the time. And other people are not so much on the timeline that I'm on. And it's frustrating to me because I understand my reasons for doing something. But the challenge is taking other people's reasons into considerations and approaches into consideration. So I'm like, I want to be doing this, but I know I'm not the only one doing this. So realizing I have to pull that back. And it's something that I feel you hold me accountable to sometimes. I can there's also remember when you said, so that stuff comes up a lot in chats and not just from you, it's all of us. Because, and it's not a I told you so approach at all. It's just like, let's just remind ourselves that we set ourselves these goals so that we are better people, have better, stronger well-being, so on and so on. So it's kind of just like a little flash of a mirror to be like, hey,
literally
check. But do you know, one of the biggest surprises, I always knew you were a home girl, right? This homebody. Straight out, I know, because we used to come to your yard and have all of the good times.
Where was I going? Come to me. Come on. It's fun here.
Not that. But you were like hostess with the mostest. Oh my God, the curry that was always cooked.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. My God, I would die for that curry. It's so bad.
I've not made you one in forever. All right, friend. Okay. Got you.
We'd come to yours, we'd have the drinks, we'd be listening to music, watching the shows. It'd be such a good time. And there'd be loads of us there and we're meeting other people. It was in a nice, cool, safe space. You could just and I know I've brought this up before, probably not necessarily on the show, but I know we've spoken about it most recently with the whole Michael Jackson. So if she's listening, she might get a flash. The Michael Jackson
performance.
Honestly, it's a snapshot that it replays in my head often.
That was a
but
great
just having
night.
that lovely little platform to enjoy that with and a memory to take. So I knew you were definitely a homebody. What I didn't realize until we started this podcast, oh my God, podcast even.
Podcast. Hard course has to be a thing though, right?
Must be
It's
like master
educational.
classes. Yeah. This is
Go.
not one of those.
I tried.
With this podcast, the thing that it really highlighted to me about you was just some of the insecurities that you battle with. And some of them like have broken my heart a little bit. There was one where we were talking about friendship and you said something and I was just like, oh my God, I actually not that
I remember.
Well, I didn't know that, but also I was just like, wow, like would never have got that impression at all.
Yeah.
Because I see us all on equal, well, no, I don't see us all on equal planes because we know who's winning, but and I'm fine with
it. We're team her all the way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really compare myself to you or to her. There's no comparison because I'm just like, I want us all to win. Yeah. So it's always like, I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. And I wish I could do a little bit more of that, but that's where your strengths lie. And I just, that feels so amazing to have that, I don't know, just be able to champion each other with that. And we do it often. And I think that's the other thing is, if not definitely something that I hope others, if not listening to the podcast or they've been around us, that they pick up is to champion your friends. Like, just love on them hard because they just add so much to your lives.
They're the ones that get you through all of the things. The literal pick you ups when you're downs, they make the highest highs even higher. Like, this is what I'm just like, I honestly really do feel for those that don't have anything that looks like it, you know, or that have friends and there's chaos, you know. If there's one thing that, I mean, I would hope that our age people, you know, would be more settled in their relationships with their friends. So when thinking of the question, I was thinking, I don't know what this could teach people, maybe younger people that are still kind of like finding their way and stuff. And one thing I would say then is I would like to think that it'd be good for them to see that friendships, you know, shouldn't be chaotic and drama filled. You should not feel exhausted by being around or speaking to your friends. There shouldn't be fear there, you know, because they really, they can't be your friends then, you know. So that was the only sort of like teachable thing that I thought. Other than that, I just really hoped that this conversation would just remind just people of the friends that they have, you know, and spark like gratitude for those that are by their side through the great stuff and the terrible stuff.
And I think the other thing around strong friendships is something that I've experienced recently is when there are difficult times, that they don't have to be present, like literally there at all of the moments. The person going through the difficult time just needs to know they can reach out to you when they need you. That is quite often all they need from you, is that knowing you're there, even if you're not physically there. Because one thing I don't want is, I don't want people to feel like if I haven't told you something, big, little, that it's because I don't give a shit. It's not that at all. It's quite often because life is just lifing, like stuff happens and then I'm moving on to the next thing and then I'm just dealing with that. I don't have the capacity to narrate it to everyone. So just because I haven't told you something doesn't mean that I don't think that you are worthy of knowing those things at all.
It's also exhausting as well. It's like, there's only so many times I want to go over this. because now for me, it will get to the point where it feels like wallowing now. And it's just like, I actually just want to move past this.
Yeah, move on. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I spoke to one of my friends yesterday who I haven't seen physically in 2 years. 2 years. Last time I saw her was at a wedding. And the big reason for that is because she doesn't live in the UK. She lives in the US. So physically, we're not able to see each other. Also, time zones are mental.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's, I don't know, 5:30 here, it's like 9:30 in the morning there. So trying to find time to actually have those conversations is a big kind of scheduling issue. But as soon as we start talking, it's like, other than the fact we've got a shit ton of stuff to catch up on, like all of the things. So the conversation is not a quick one, but you've got all of the things to talk about. And then you start talking about silly things like what you're watching on television, or, you know, like music that you're listening to, or we start talking about the podcast and silly things that we've been chatting about, and then rehashing that. But I mean, I've known this person since I was 24, maybe. So another lengthy friendship, and we've got all of that distance. And yet, like, she knows if ever I need her to talk to, obviously she can't drop everything and fly over. But whenever I need her, like, she's there, and she knows exactly the same of me, because we are open about that. It's like, I know I can't be there, but send me a message and I'll make it to be by your side, or like virtually be by your side through things. So I think you have to just tell people, like, this is how I will show up for you, but also maybe clarify how you want them to show up for you. Because if you can remove the guessing, it makes it so much easier.
So much easier. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point, you know, sort of teaching others how to love you, essentially. But also just accepting, you know, them as they are and where they are, you know. If you know that, like, there's a running joke between my siblings and my mum as well about trying to get hold of my younger sister. Like, you'll call her, if you've only got one call to make, it can't be to her, babes. Like, she's not picking up. You know, she's always doing something. It's not because she's like seeing your name flash up and she's been like, nah, not today. She's just literally always doing something, and her phone's not always on her. Do you know what I mean? She's just that type. So it's just like, we know what the deal is. And then there's other people, it's like, if you call 2 rings and they're there, you know? But just because they've not picked up or they've not called you back that same day doesn't mean they don't love you. That's just how they operate, you know? You just have to love your mates as they are, as I think we've covered this throughout multiple episodes at this point, you know, but just not to expect you from them either, you know, because there's already you. You know, variety is the spice, as they say.
Yeah, definitely. I love how you said how she doesn't always have her phone on her. That is a healthy behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you just like, I mean, I am the worst. I am the absolute worst for not responding immediately. Like, it's so bad. But I don't understand, if you're sending me a message, like it's 1:41 and I respond at 1:43 and you don't respond for hours. What? And especially if you're asking me a question, how are you asking someone a question and then putting your phone down and not coming back to it for hours? Like, that does not make sense to me. But however, you know, and I don't know. It's something I have to learn, to just like put my phone down sometimes and just leave it. I mean, my phone's always on silent. So sometimes if you do call me, I won't hear, even if my phone is beside me, I won't hear it because it's not on.
This happens many times. It could be happening right now. I'm exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yeah, but yeah, you always get a "sorry, I missed you, is everything okay" message.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you know, I was saying to the other half the other day, I don't know why we were talking about how often we chat, but just how there's always a message, like pretty much every day, if not every day, every other day. Like in the group chat, we're always checking in at some point. Sometimes it's just hope you're well, have a great day,
Yeah.
you know, or it will be like a complete barrage of messages. And he was blown away. He was like, really? Like, that's mad that you're like in contact all the time. Just like, yeah. Like, I feel like that's standard. And it's not the same for all friendship groups. Like there are some people who I will message and then I won't get a response back for 2 weeks. And that's never going to be me. I will always respond within at least 1 or 2 days. I don't expect that of them because I know that's our friendship.
You know what it is. Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm like, it's one of those ones when you see someone's emails at work and it's just like, I work flexibly. Just because I respond at 3 a.m. doesn't mean you need to kind of thing.
I love that. Motto for life. Basically, do you, boo, and I'm going to do me.
Yeah. I do get a lot of great feedback though from like friends who I know listen to the podcast or you know, check in with the shorts that we have on like the socials, and they are always commenting about just how much fun we seem to be having. Like, even if we're talking about something really deep and quite vulnerable, there's always a massive jump to the ridiculous, because I feel sometimes that's a coping mechanism, people. Sometimes we need to just like literally spring from the fire.
I can't stay there for too long. Can't stay there for too long. Do you know what I was thinking? That might actually be why we've kind of eased up on our deep dives over the last couple of weeks, actually, because when we started, we were literally doing them every single week. And I mean, it was fine. It's like not a problem. But I feel like maybe it took a toll, maybe without us even realizing, actually, because week on, week out, like it's a lot. So
I feel as though since we've come back after our spring break, because that's what it was. I feel like we've lightened the load a little bit. And I don't have a problem with that at all. I definitely feel like we touched on quite a few deep topics to start with. And there might be one thing I have noticed about myself is I keep saying, oh yeah, I'm going to come back to this next week. And I never come back.
And I'm just like, what did you say again? Because as soon as we hit record, it's all forgotten. Or it ends just like, okay.
I have been rewatching the last, I think it's the last 1 or 2 episodes that we sent out or released. And I've said a couple of things that I was going to do. And I'm like, okay, I am going to pick this up. Actually, one thing that I really, 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 really want to start doing again, that I was doing at the beginning and I'm no longer doing, is meditating. I feel like when we started last October, I was in a very kind of self-serving, holistic space. And now I'm in a bit of a energetic, chaotic space. And I need to level out.
Yeah.
It's time to level out.
Yeah. When I get into a good flow with like meditation, when you miss that day or two, you really do feel it, you know, you really do. When is your favorite time to meditate? Are you like in the morning or in the evening? Or is it sometime in the day?
It's sometime in the day. Yeah. It's kind of like, for me, the best time for meditation is probably around the 5 p.m. mark. So it's like, because I've just finished like work, and I feel that's a really good opportunity for me to change my state because I'm coming out of the work mode. I'm about to launch myself into, okay, either I've got to take Santino out for a walk, which is also a wonderful time to not meditate. I wouldn't say it's meditating. It's more of a mindful walk. Because quite often I don't have headphones or anything in, so I'm not listening to music. I'm just like paying attention to him, to what's going on around me, the weather, all of that stuff. So either I've got to do that, or I'm then cooking, then we're eating, tidying up the kitchen, and then it's like, okay, now it's getting ready for bed and, you know, or getting ready for the next day. So actually it's like I've been busy all day. I need that step. So then's a really, really good time. And I have just engaged in a challenge for myself of 3-minute abs 3 times a day.
But as long as we've known each other, there's been a fucking ab challenge. You know this. This is how it will always be. I love it.
It's just 3 minutes.
We always have a fitness challenge.
It's so easy to do. So I'm just like, if I go to the gym, fine. If I'm playing tennis, fine, because those are set times. But when I'm not doing those things, nothing else happens. I can say I'm going to do a Pilates workout. I can say I'm going to do some sort of home workout. I'm lying to myself, and I'm admitting I'm lying to myself because that is the awareness I'm at. I am lying to myself if I say I'm going to do this. But 3 minutes, I literally fling off my jeans, I do it in my knickers and my vest, I don't care. In the hallway, just need some space to do some of this stuff, some like dead bug stuff. And then I'm done. And I'm like, no abs yet.
Right. What to eat?
Yeah.
Oh
dear.
I've tried to meditate in the day, but I'm just too like wired to do it.
So you
like,
morning or evening?
When I get into a good flow, more times than not, it's the evening. It's not been working the last couple of months because I've just been so tired that I've fallen asleep. I mean, some people do meditate to fall asleep, but I just like the wind down of it.
Yeah.
So I've not been able to do it successfully for the last couple of months, but preferably, the evening. Morning ones, great too. But in the day, I can't settle my brain enough to do it.
I guess that is part of the challenge of meditation, though, isn't
it?
It
is, but I feel like I'm losing. I feel like I'm losing.
Then
I feel like I'm losing.
You're just judging yourself on the thing.
Like I know what you're saying. That's the whole point. I know, but I'm just like, I can't win that way. No.
How long do you meditate for?
If I'm just going to do like an in and out, bish bash bosh, 15 minutes. When I was just like doing it the best I had ever done before, I was like 30, 45-minute meditation.
Is it guided?
No. No. I only kind of got into guided meditations maybe about 2 years ago. And that's because I think I'd had such a gap. Not that I'd forgotten how to do it, but I'd kind of forgotten how to do it. Because guided meditations have always felt like cheating to me. You know, and again, it could be, again, the Aries thing, like, I'm going to do it the right way. Oh, I am a little bit like you. The rules. I'm going to do it the right way. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. But there is an ease, you know, to just sitting there and just have someone just like guide you through it, you know?
Yeah.
So now, like, I'm not adverse to it at all, but I do just like the sitting there and just going through the motions of it, listening to the heart rate, focusing on the breathing. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, in the day, I just, because my brain is always like, okay, what's happening next? I can't get present enough to do it. And it just feels like I'm sat there thinking about like the typical complaints that you'll hear about people that try meditation but don't stick with it is because their brain won't switch off. It's that constantly. And I'm just like, I ain't got time for this. It doesn't feel like it's beneficial for me.
I think if I do I do like the guided meditations, but I like to switch them up. And I have to find someone whose voice doesn't annoy me, because if it annoys me, I'm
That
obviously
part.
not paying. Yeah, I'm just like, this is annoying.
That part.
But I
Yeah.
do like what is it called when you do the body one? Anyway,
Like,
I if I'm going to do it for myself, and it will be then in the evening typically, and not if the other half is doing his annoying stuff, I will work myself through the body. So I'll start on my toes, work through my feet, and just like be like, and they're relaxing and stuff. So I am going through the motions until I get to my head. And by that point, I am so fully relaxed, like regardless of whether or not I'm ready to sleep, I can sense a whole shift in my energy. It's definitely slowed down. But if I'm doing it at 5 p.m., it's like a 10-minute kind of just quick check-in, focus on breathing, trying to shut off my thoughts from the day, and then it's done. And I feel like for me at the moment, 10 minutes is enough. I wouldn't be able to concentrate for any longer than that. But over time, let's see.
But that's decent though. 10 minutes is better than no minutes. As I say with the abs.
Yeah. We'll see. 3 times a day, once in the morning, halfway through the day, and in the evening. We'll see if it makes a difference. But I'm just like, I have done a 20-minute abs routine, but I'm just like, I actually don't feel like I've got time. Like I don't, he's all right, because who's cooking his dinner? He's doing his abs workout. I'm cooking the dinner. So, you know, if we did swapsies, one would be getting a crap meal, but I have tight abs.
Even tighter, because would you eat all of it?
No, that's
maybe
really
that's
bad. That's really bad.
Sorry.
No, not you. It's me. It's me. I shouldn't be bad mouthing his cooking. But
you
it's
know,
what it is.
We jab at the ones we love the most.
I know. It's all jokes.
But yeah, I did like this question. At first I was just like, oh, like, teach who about what? Who am I? Who are we? We're just getting on with it. What? But yeah, it was nice to kind of reflect on how far we've come in under a year. All the different things that I've learned about you and been able to appreciate, and just giving me more things to admire, you know? Honestly, you're a doll.
Oh, I love how much you compliment me. Thank you so much. You do. You throw those out so easily, and I really appreciate that of you, because I don't take them very well, but I appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, compliment.
That's why I don't throw them back, because I know you just like cringe and just start to shrink inside. It would be wasted. But I do think, honestly, so highly of you, like not just in terms of our friendship, but just you as a person, and all of the things that you like manage and juggle, and your creativity is insane. Like what you do for your girls is nuts, and just you know. So
thanks, Dom. My feet are just like
I know. Your toes are like,
but I receive it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're just like, let's move on next.
Yeah. So to the media circus we go. But no, that was a really nice deep dive. So those, I nearly did it again. So those listening, why do I say that? So those listening, because how else are you taking this in? Frolickers, I don't know. Pray for me.
They might just be absorbing it, because not everyone sits down and actually takes the time to listen to the whole thing without doing other things.
That's true.
Everyone must be multitasking. Like, do you listen to a podcast when you're not doing something else?
That's why I love them so much, because I can do other things. That's why I'm not reading the way that I want to read. That's why actually if audiobooks count, because I've been against audiobooks for years, but I'm just like, at this rate, I just don't know if I'm going to get through any books anymore.
I only get through books when I'm away, which is like I'm going away in a couple of weeks' time. And so like that is when I'm going to be digesting books. I've already been looking at how much I am willing to spend on a Karen Slaughter book, because
I was going to say, what are we packing?
I mean, well, obviously I'm not packing a book. I'm taking the Kindle.
Oh, a Kindle.
Yeah. Because then I've got 3 books in one, and I don't have to worry about the weight that I'm carrying onto the aeroplane. So, and it's also so useful when you're in the sun and it's just, you know.
I was against them when they first came out, because when they first came out, I was single and childless and, you know, had all the time. I used to devour books, and the idea of just having this thin thing, I was just like, that's no, where are the pages? You know? I like seeing how far I've read, how much there is to go. And also if I need to like reread something, how do you find that on a Kindle? You don't. It's just gone forever. That's why I was just like, it's not for me. And then I got one. I was thinking, oh, actually, yeah, this is all right.
Yeah,
and I'm back on the other side. Give me the pages.
I still have the books, but I'll read them if I have to dedicate time to read a book at home, because it feels a bit luxurious to sit down and read when I know
imagine that
I've got washing piling up, or, you know, like food needs to be bought, which actually just reminds me I need to go food shopping once we record.
As you said that, I was like, oh yeah, food shop. Yeah. Literally.
I was just like, oh God, yeah, I've got to do food shop, otherwise we've got nothing for dinner. But yeah, so I'm just like, it does feel just a bit kind of, I don't know. And yet I would sit and watch a film. So it's weird. It's weird.
It's funny you mention your challenge, because I've set myself one for this month as well, which is actually to read, because I want to be on my phone less. I'm getting to the point where I'm almost disgusted with how much with myself for being on my phone so much. Like I pick my phone up to check one thing and I end up somewhere else. Now, obviously, smartphones are designed to be that way, but I just feel like they got me. You know, I don't like it. I don't love it at all. So yeah, my challenge this month is to, even if it's just 2 pages, just to read my book. I've actually got it here. It's a big one. Ooh. Radical Healing. It's basically about nutrition. Yeah. Yeah, it's about nutrition. And just, healing your body through food, sleep, fasting, all of that sort of stuff. But I'm just like, that is actually time well spent, you know? And also, you might find this hard to believe, I used to be very articulate. I never used to struggle for words the way that I do now. And I believe it is because I used to read so much, you know? There was a period of time where I would order books off Amazon like crazy and just nom, 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 nom. And now it's just like, it's just about getting in the shower, you know? So obviously times have changed. I'm trying to be easy with myself about that, because again, things that I'm trying to learn and apply to my life, but I've got to make the change, because as we get older, menopause is just beyond the river bend, and the faculties and the brain fog are just one of the plethora of things we have to deal with. So, you know, anyway, that took a turn.
As you finished that sentence, I just looked down at my phone. My niece has just messaged me and she's asked, when do you start your Christmas gifts?
Oh, no. La 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 la. The
I wonder
clocks
if she's
have not
asking.
even turned back. What
I
it
know.
is, she's
I
gone
wonder
to
if she's designing
Sainsbury's
it. She's
and
designing stuff. I'm sure she's going to be painting
designing.
bits. Yeah, she does all of her. So we always get a paint. We always get a painting from her. So everyone gets a personalized
Oh,
painting. So I'm not
she's such a
as
sweetie.
artistic as she is, so that, or I buy my gifts. Of course, I have money, so she doesn't. But yeah, God, yeah. Going into the supermarkets at the moment and seeing all of the Christmas aisles, I'm just not here for it. I don't want to engage with that at all.
I won't. Do
It's
you know what
not
always gets me though? The mince pies.
really.
I obviously it's different now because of the year that I spent Christmas with you and had like a real mince pie. So I'm just like, oh, so I've been eating trash for the last 20 years because this is not what they're supposed to taste like, apparently. But yeah, I love a store mince pie. That, and I was going to say a cup of tea. I don't even need the tea. I don't even drink tea like I used to anymore. So yeah, that always gets me.
Oh
You will
no.
find a tray of mince pies towards the end of October in my house, for sure.
Well, towards the end of October, at least, the clocks are turning back and it's much darker outside, but we still have light and,
Yeah.
the occasional sunshine. So
Mm.
whilst that's still out there and we haven't dipped below 10 degrees, can you
Yeah, it's true.
keep Christmas out of your damn mouths?
Just gonna say.
I'm not here for it yet. Thank you.
No,
But the one
absolutely
thing I
not.
will be storing if I see them are tubs of Twiglets because, oh my God, I love them. So I won't eat them. I will just be purchasing and putting in the cupboard ready for the week
Oh,
of devouring.
you're so good. You're so good. I need some bloody discipline in my stocking because she does not exist. How do you eat your Twiglets? Do you just pop straight in and chew? Or do you like suck off the, sounds weird,
Depends. Sometimes,
the
yeah.
seasoning?
Suck off the seasoning. Oh, a bit of both, a bit of both. Do you know, when I was younger, and I'm talking like young,
Yeah.
I used to suck off all of the kind of like Marmite flavorings and
Yeah.
just put them on the side soggy, and then I'd eat them later. That is disgusting.
And it's like cold and wet.
I know. That's what she said. Anyway. Do you have anything for the media circus?
Oh, God. Let me have a quick look. I think I might do. I've been really lax because I've purposely not been on social media for a while. I've not said anything recently. So let me see what I've got in the archive. Ooh, okay. So what would you do in this situation? So I saw this video where this woman was getting her hair done by somebody, right? So not a hairdresser's, one of those like, what do they call
Street
it?
ones?
No, just basically the person has come, she's gone to the person's house to get her hair done.
Okay.
So however you find those types of hairdressers. And she's texting either her friend, I think she's texting her boyfriend. And the hairdresser has been looking at her phone the whole time. And then she starts saying, oh, I know you're texting Trayvon, like that's my man, why are you texting him? And the woman getting her head on just like, I don't have a Trayvon in my phone, what are you talking about? And the hairdresser's like, I know how he speaks, like that's him, what are you messaging him for? And the woman getting her head on is like, no, I'm not, I don't know who that is, that's not who this is, and also why are you watching my phone? So the woman starts getting like a little bit irate, still braiding the hair, but starting to get irate. And then cut to the woman who was getting her hair done, she's basically walking back to her car saying, I've had to leave because she's starting to scare me. Why is she looking at my phone? I don't know who she's talking about. Meanwhile, her hair is like half done. And so this is why you don't go to people's house and do stuff like this, because you don't know who they are, what kind of crazy they are. So what would you do in that situation so like when you got your hair braided
Yes.
last summer, imagine you're texting, let's just say your brother even, and then she's just like, I know you're texting Trayvon. What are you doing?
I mean, I think I'd probably just leave. Like, I'd just be like, well, first of all, money had not exchanged hands. So
okay,
if half of my head is braided, then I don't mind taking out the braids because I haven't paid for it. But yeah, I don't think I would stick around just because I'm expecting to get my hair done. It's just, if you don't feel safe, then get the hell out.
Exactly. Nothing is worth your life, right?
No, thank you. I'm just like, I don't want to be. And also, could you imagine being like, woman found dead and half her head's braided?
The optics. That is I saw that is crazy. I mean,
I don't know. I fair enough. Like when you're getting your hair braided, it's a long old time. So I completely understand that you will be wanting to do stuff on your phone and that, but I don't know. There's part of me that's like, just watch a film or something rather than messaging and doing private stuff, because they are literally there. So, you know, what did you
see when you had yours done? Did you actually do that? Watch a film? Or were you talking the whole time?
I didn't have a choice, girl. Yeah, it was talking. It was like, so first off, we were just chatting about like the local area because I hadn't long been moved down there. She'd lived there for a while and was just like chatting about that. And then we were talking about like, because we both moved down from London. So just talking about the transition. And then her daughter was kind of like walking in and out. I think her daughter was like 14, had been coming in and out to help. So she had done half of the braid, and then the daughter was finishing it off. But her daughter had been going through some stuff with some ingenuine friends, and so her mum brought me into the situation. Yeah, and we were like chatting about, do you know what, if she's acting this way and she's talking this way, you know, because her mum was like, this girl is not genuine. She doesn't really want to be your friend. She's just using you and stuff, because she never really made an effort to come and see her, where her daughter was going and seeing this friend all of the time. So we were chatting about that, and then, there was a whole thing. But I was expecting to be there all day. I was only there for like, I think it ended up just being 4 hours.
Wow, she did that quick.
Oh yeah, I've never seen someone move. I know, and there was a lot going on. There was a lot going on, so it was just like done.
Did her daughter finish off all of the braids?
No, she was like, she did just most of them, and then obviously when she'd finished doing half, then she'd start finishing them off.
Is that what happens for all of them? I mean,
yeah.
Oh, okay, that's probably why then. Yeah.
So
wow,
she'd basically plait almost as far down as my own hair, which was not that far off the end of the braid. Which, I mean, just stretching my hair out now, I felt like they were heavy, like not too heavy, but I felt like there was a lot of hair on my head.
You did. They were heavy.
And I don't know if it would work the same if I just got my own hair braided. I'd probably look a bit like Stevie Wonder. Do you know?
Wait, what?
Back in the day, like with using my own hair for the braids. I just don't think it would work the same.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Maybe I need less hair used. I don't know.
I think, because I thought they were going to be finer, actually.
Yeah, but then I didn't want to, that would be too much.
Okay.
too much for me, because I have had them when they've been smaller braids, and it's just a lot more to deal with. And as it is, I don't know. I mean, I suppose because my hair is always above my shoulders when it's curly, and I very rarely have it. Even when I have it straight, it's always back in a bun. So it's the sleeping situation. Like, if my hair's down, when it was down, and then I'm like, oh, I'm trapped with the braids.
You get one caught,
and it's just long. It's long. So as much as I get bored with my own hair, I'm like, at least I know kind of what to do with it, because
you know that evil. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, if I was in that situation, I'd do the same. I'd just pick my stuff up and I'd go.
Up and leave. Weirdo. Anyway, that's all that I had saved on this week. So did you have anything?
I had one, and it was basically a situation where we were talking about in Love is Blind, where this woman, you've got this guy who's recording his date. I don't know if they're in a relationship or if it's just a date, but she's having a fat munch, and he's just like, oh, babes, I've forgotten my wallet. Do you mind just spotting me, and like, I'll give you the money later? And she's just like, what? No, I'm not going to pay for this meal. What do you mean? You better find someone to come and drop your wallet, because I'm not paying. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that, but me going up there and paying. How do you feel about that, with me going up and paying? And he's like, I literally am just asking you to just take care of the bill, and I'll give you the money back when I've got my wallet. And she's just like kicking off about the whole thing. So that was just like I'm going to send it to you to watch it.
To hear her say that. That's not your babe then, no? So you're just here for the food, no? That's crazy.
At what point have we, as women, decided that, we can't spot our partners when needed? Like,
if we're in this together, then no, it's not a big deal.
The only time I'd be a little hesitant is if it's a large sum, like if you're asking me to lend you $5,000, then I'm kind of like, can we get a legal document just to make sure you're paying me this money back?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, but
yeah, if you're asking me to spot, £80 for a meal that we have shared, because that's what he's like. He's like, I'm paying for our food, not like, do you know what I mean? You're not paying for my food. We're
that is
paying
so
for
extreme.
ours.
To be able to get someone to bring your wallet here, that's crazy. Your card is literally in your purse. Or like, if you ain't got it, then say you ain't got it, innit? Like, don't turn the tables on me now. That's crazy.
I hope he evaluated that relationship.
Yeah.
Because if she's not spotting for a meal, how else, like, is she going to let you down?
And that's very basic as well, Give and take.
Yeah.
Or they're young.
I thought I had so many more, but I'm looking at, so I've got a Media Circus folder, and I have not saved that much.
Thing is, I've got some in there, but I'm just like, nah.
Really?
Nah. Should I just maybe go through them all? So I remember I've got one here where a woman who has sent out wedding RSVPs basically sent what did they call it? Like a deadline.
Oh, yeah.
Like a deadline reminder, and then one to say that the deadline has passed. So the email that went out to say that the deadline has passed basically says, like, the deadline to RSVP has now passed. We're really sorry that you're not going to be able to join us on our wedding day, and then appropriate close. But some people are kind of like kicking off, like, how can you, do that, basically? Like, if you've RSVP'd, if you've sent them out, why not be a bit more flexible?
Deadline is a deadline, right? If I'm telling you I need to know numbers by this date and you have not told me whether or not you're coming, I'm assuming you ain't coming because you haven't met the deadline.
Literally. I think it's a great idea, to be fair, to have like that sort of cut off email because, again, like when my sister got married, I was sort of front and center for the queries, should we call them, that came through around RSVPs, the dates that they came around as well. Some people that didn't RSVP but still came through. So yeah, it's crazy. Some people just don't have any concept of, I don't know, decorum, man. Who doesn't RSVP but still shows up?
I know. Anyway. That is some next
especially
level.
At a wedding. Come on now.
Yeah. There is a reason why there is a, RSVP. And even if it's not a case, because I get that sometimes they're like, oh, can you respond by this letter or whatever? I think you need to be flexible with how people RSVP. So if it's by email, by text or whatever, and then you have your little list and you mark them if you've heard back from them, that's different. Or if it's like of an older generation that you call them to chase and just say, hi, did you receive it? Are you going to be making it? Because they won't always know to text or know to email or whatever. So that kind of needs to be kind of worked around.
And that's fair. I feel like nowadays, though, most invitations that I've seen for the last couple of weddings have all been like e-invites. And right at the bottom there, you've got your yes, I will attend and no, I won't attend button, Click it, man. You're being asked to come to a party. Let me know you're going to be there.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It shouldn't be hard.
No, it shouldn't.
Anyway, people.
Yeah.
Right,
RSVP.
We're going to leave this episode right here and hope that you RSVP to the next one. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you learned something. We hope we made you think in some sort of way. We hope you appreciate your friends, maybe reevaluate the friendships that you have. But all in all, I hope... What do I hope?
You have friends.
Sure.
And if not, hit us up. We'll be your friends.
You've seen us. We're all right. Come on in. Do all of the things, people. Subscribe, engage, like, follow and forward for a good time. That'd be much appreciated. Thank you so much. Ames, do you have anything to say to the people before we head out?
Just have a fantastic week.
There we go. What she said. All right, folks, to the next one. See you later. Bye.
Peace. Peace.